Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
It is episode 251 of Weather Weekly. Good to be with you, meteorologist Marcus Bailey from Indianapolis, Indiana at Wish TV. And gearing you up for the last really kind of full week before we start getting into the holiday. Yeah, Thanksgiving next Thursday. Crazy. Things get real busy this week after, well, it was an interesting week last week. Had our first real snow of the season. It did stick. The morning commute was terrible. That was last Monday, followed by 70 degrees and higher just a few days later on Friday. We're not going to have kind of the temperature swings as much this week, but we are going to have numerous rain chances that we're going to have to kind of get through as we go over the next several days. So we will walk you through all of that and so much more. It is the week ahead for November 17th, 2025. That's next on Weather Weekly.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
It is the week ahead for November 17th, 2025. Let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's get started with Monday here, which is going to start off quiet, much more so than what we had to contend with last Monday with snow and treacherous travel conditions, numerous accidents for people trying to get into work, even had some school days. Not going to be the case here for our Monday this week. In fact, it's going to be very quiet. We're going to go mainly sunny during the day anyway. I'm at 52 for the high. I will say that there is a boundary that's going to be moving in and could bring in some cloud cover as we get through the day. So it won't be bright all day long, but I do think we'll still have a decent amount of sunshine. Winds will be very light, so it's actually going to be a quite pleasant and seasonable day. Low 50s is where we should be for this time of year. Rain will be likely then as we await a boundary to move through Monday night. And that will bring mostly cloudy skies and maybe a few showers across the area. I do think the coverage probably will increase a little bit more on Tuesday. So overnight lows will be in the upper 30s. I think we'll stay just warm enough that we won't be mixing anything. It's just going to be a cold rain for Monday night. Tuesday then, not a big cool down, even though the system's going to be passing by with clouds and some rain chances here, especially for the first half of our Tuesday. We'll have highs right around 50 degrees. Winds not super high. All right, this isn't going to be a real wound up system. It's just going to be a rainmaker for sure. And rain chances might continue into the evening hours. We'll call it scattered. Not going to rain all night. Well, the overnight lows only falling to the mid-40s, so you're not going to get a lot of swing with the temperatures from Tuesday to Tuesday night. Wednesday is a cloudy day. I got to throw in some rain chances. But I don't think it's as good as a chance what we have on Tuesday. And we have much better chances actually later in the week. But kind of in between systems here with a lingering boundary, the rain chances will be low but not zero. All right. And temperatures actually will warm up a little bit because I do think we could squeeze out a little bit of sunshine from time to time. Wednesday's highs will be around 60 with overnight lows around 47. Thursday and, well, really kind of a 3-day stretch. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All right. Where there is a much more active pattern and a much more potent system. We're going to have a warm front that will lift through the state on Thursday, that's going to bring scattered showers and possibly even a rumble of thunder. Now, I don't see signs, at least on Thursday, of severe weather threats. All right, but obviously thunder can still pose its own risks if you need to be outside. And I think the best chances for rain are probably going to be in the second half of Thursday. We'll have highs into the low 60s, so we're going to be in the kind of that warm sector here. Now, as we get later into your Friday night and then heading into Friday, we're going to be between the warm front and a trailing cold front. And that is when we're going to have probably our best rain opportunities. So Thursday night, rain is likely, some rumbles of thunder. Lows will hold into the mid-50s, which is warmer than our average high for this part of November. And that rain is going to carry over into Friday. Rain, maybe some thunderstorms likely, very warm still. Highs in the mid-60s. Again, I don't see glaring signs that we're going to get anything severe, but you can't rule out maybe a strong storm or two as that cold front passes by, okay? Very slow-moving system, so we got to hold on to the rain chances at least for Friday night. I think there's a good chance for that. And then potentially into Saturday. Right now, I would lean toward kind of early on Saturday. I don't think necessarily all of your Saturday is going to be a complete washout, okay? But I do think the opportunities will be there that we may have to deal with some of these showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder as the front is still slowly trying to work itself through the area to start off the weekend. So highs on Saturday, it will be a little bit cooler once that front does pass by. You're likely looking at numbers into the low 50s, which puts us back to average. So again, we're not getting the big swings and we're not getting that winter push that we had earlier on into the week. Sunday then, to kind of close thing out on the extended, there's going to be more of a southern system of warm front that's going to be in the neighborhood. And with it being this far out, I'm going to say maybe a chance of showers. But right now, if the track actually holds, only southern Indiana along the Ohio River would probably see rain chances. Our better rain chances will be as that low will kind of slide up for Tuesday of that holiday week, which I'm not going to dive too deep into yet. In terms of precipitation, it's just you kind of get in the land of voodoo there. But I will spend some time on temperatures coming up after the break and what we're seeing for the upcoming holiday and for traveling and all that kind of stuff. All right. So Sunday to close out the weekend doesn't look terrible. And actually, it may end up being a tad warmer, maybe mid-50s for highs. So not awful. And very seasonable for this time of year. So nothing too much in terms of swing. And I will say, another interesting factor, I don't see any day in the next 7, really honestly the next 10 days, where our overnight lows will dip below freezing. In fact, really the only night that we may even flirt with frost was, well, early Monday morning. Which has already passed. And then possibly Monday morning of next week, we might have numbers into the mid-30s. But overall, you're talking 40s and 50s for overnight lows. So that's not terrible. All right. In terms of forecasted rainfall over the next 7 days, pretty good. About an inch, averaging an inch to an inch and a half around most of central Indiana, closest to 2 to 2.5 inches down along the Ohio River to our south. And that is much needed. The ground is still not frozen, so we need every bit that we can get us back righting the ship in terms of our drought conditions. So that would go a long way to help things out here a little bit. All right, so that's the forecast for this upcoming week. Coming up, we'll talk some stats for the month of November, where we stand since we're halfway through the month now. As I mentioned, we'll do the 8 to 14 day. We'll also talk, at least in generalities, how the holiday week and weekend is shaping up, especially temperature-wise. There is going to be a big shift, it looks like, maybe close to or just after the holidays. So we'll walk you all through that, all that, and a lot more. That's coming up next here on Weather Week. All All right, let's do some stats here for the month of November. Precipitation for the month, we're at 0.37 inches. That is down 1.36. So about an inch. We're down an inch. Last year at this time, we had 2.74. Since the beginning of fall, or meteorological fall, that's September 1st, 4.11. We're still down nearly 4 inches of rainfall. We're close to where we were last year at this time at 4.86. And we can talk snowfall. For the month, 1.8 inches. That's what we've had for the month. For the season, we are actually up 1.6 inches of snowfall. We had not had snow yet to this point last year. So we're on the board now. Let's talk the 8 to 14 day outlook here. And that's what take us from the dates of November 23rd to the 29th. So this would take us, obviously, through a good chunk of the holiday week and holiday weekend for Thanksgiving. Overall, above average temperatures, very strong signal for really the eastern half of the country and much of the central U.S., strong signals for above average precipitation. So obviously we already have kind of an active pattern coming up this week. That does not look to change going into the holiday week. So be aware of that if you are traveling or have loved ones that are traveling. Doesn't necessarily mean severe. Certainly does not necessarily mean snow. Okay? Especially here in the Midwest. You know, you're combining the warmer and the wetter. That leads you to rain. All right? But that can present its own problems, especially if the volume is high at a lot of airports and that kind of thing. So, delays on roads, maybe in the air. Can't rule it out, you know. We will see. But just wanted to give you a heads up there. And it's hard to talk, again, I've mentioned this in podcasts before. It's hard to talk specifics when we're talking, you know, just less than 2 weeks out, especially when it comes to precipitation. Now, what I can do for you is we can kind of talk pattern trends, and we kind of already leaning into, you know, an active pattern heading into the week. So there might be several rain, possibly thunderstorm opportunities coming our way into the Midwest for the holiday week. I will say, though, the overall trend, what I've been looking at is through much of next week, we're probably looking at warmer than average temperatures for much of the holiday week. Certainly for those of you that have to work at least the first 2 or 3 days of the holiday week. Pretty warm, okay? Now, and I know there's buzz on social media for those of you that are weather geeks and you follow a lot of people, that there's been some postings of an Arctic cool down coming again, possibly on or after Thanksgiving. What I can tell you, and these have been posted almost a week ago, all right? So that's like 3 weeks in advance. What I can tell you is, yes, there does look like there's going to be a cool down, the strength of which continues to, at least for us in the Midwest, not be as strong as what was early indicated. And this happens a lot. And this is why you got to kind of take what you see with a grain of salt 3 weeks out. All right. You can look at patterns. And I do think the pattern is going to flip a little bit to the point where we are going to turn cooler, but maybe not frigid, right? Like some of the wording that's being used out there. All right. There's still a lot of times to kind of iron things out here. And again, the timing is iffy. I've seen some of the projections with the medium range models that we look at that say, okay, it's going to happen around Thanksgiving. Some of them are now delaying that. That is not unusual. And there'll be some back and forth until we actually get a little bit closer, right? So, the last thing I'll say about it is going to be the end of November. We're almost moving in December. Naturally, we are going to flip the switch, right? We're not going to stay mild forever. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. We've had a lot of winters where we've had delayed starts. This may end up being one of them. We always get snow. Sometimes it's not a lot, but we always get snow. We always get cold. It's Indiana. It will happen, right? So this won't be a shock or anything like that. So that's kind of the last thing I'll say about all of that. Obviously, next Monday, we will have the new podcast out, and we'll walk you in detail through what's going to happen as we gear up for, the upcoming holiday weekend. Because I think probably the concern a little bit more than a temperature drop is going to be that there might be several rain chances that's going to impact travelers. And it is a very busy travel week for many. Okay, so we will walk you through all of that as we gear up for the upcoming holiday week. Can't believe it's here. My wife went out, got our turkeys all ready. We're ready to go. So, man, it's just November's flying by. It's just crazy. So I'm ready. I am absolutely here for it. All right. That'll do it for this week's podcast. You can always shoot me a line. Email marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. You can also reach out on social media. I'm pretty active on the 4 major ones here: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. Marcus Bailey Weather will get you to my pages there. And yeah, of course, you can get my forecast on TV, locally, Wish TV in Central Indiana. That's Channel 8. And of course, worldwide at our website, wishtv.com. Just click the live stream button. That's Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you can also get my forecast 24 hours a day via our website, wishtv.com/weather, and our free Storm Track 8 weather app. While you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful week. We will talk to you soon, and God bless.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com, and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.